The street smart girl Yi Ran, who struggles to make a living at the bottom of society, works part time at a convenience store. Dressed in a mascot costume, she energetically hands out flyers at the entrance. During her break, she texts her boyfriend, Jiang Chen, to ask if he has time, only to receive a reply that he has to work overtime. Unhappy, Yi Ran pouts and complains. It's Valentine's Day, after all. Before she can rest for long, the boss calls her to stock the shelves. She notices the boss selling expired bread to customers and feels that it's wrong. But the boss is indifferent. When a child tries to buy expired bread, Yi Run quickly stops them. But the child gets scared and starts crying. The child calls their mother over to stand up for them, and the boss ends up getting slapped. Furious, he turns his anger on Yi Run and tells her to get lost. Yi-Run demands her salary for the month, but the unscrupulous boss claims that since they didn't sign a contract, there's no labor relationship, let alone any wages. Thinking quickly, Yi-Run pulls out the quality inspection report from a boxed meal she bought at the store last month and threatens to report the boss for switching labels. Only then does she manage to get her wages. Most of Yi-Run's life has been spent battling against hardships, yet life always seems to hit her harder. But for Yiran, leaving a bad review is her way of taking a stand. Life only happens once. If you don't defend it, it's as if you never lived. Quan Hai Resort Hotel. As the director of the housekeeping department, Shao Muching deals with all kinds of guest complaints as soon as he starts work each day. To him, his life has no room for bad reviews. Mrs. Liu finds stains on the showerhead while taking a bath in her room. To reassure her, Xiao Mucheng fills a cup with water from the showerhead and drinks it right in front of her. Mrs. Liu is left speechless. He then upgrades her room and offers free meals, completely appeasing her anger, though his own stomach pays the price. When the laundry department loses a button from Mr. Chen's clothing, Xiao Mucheng already has a solution. He's asked a friend to find an identical button. Yiran discovers that Jiang Chen has been cheating on her. Enraged, she storms into a cafe and splashes 2 cups of water on him before leaving in a huff. Her best friend, Leng Yishu, gives her a room card for a 5-star hotel as a birthday gift, telling her to enjoy a luxurious experience. Yiran is deeply touched. Coincidentally, the button Xiao Mucheng ordered through his friend ends up in Leng Yishu's hands, which she got from Yiran. Xiao Mucheng calls, saying he wants to pick up the button in person, but Leng Yishu is in a rush to start her live stream. Yiran tells her to leave first and waits in her place. After finishing his meeting, Xiao Mucheng arrives to retrieve the button. Meanwhile, Yiran, slightly tipsy, watches as he starts having stomach trouble. She takes him to an extremely shabby restroom and then sneaks away. While using the restroom, Xiao Mucheng accidentally drops the button into the toilet. Disgusted but determined, he retrieves it and brings it back to the hotel, instructing that it must be thoroughly disinfected before being given to the client. Yiran deletes all contact information related to Jiang Chen and heads to Quan Hai Resort Hotel with the room card, finally getting a moment of relaxation. However, her drunken wailing leads to guest complaints, forcing Xiao Mucheng to handle the issue personally. He never expected to find Yiran completely drunk, mistaking him for Jiang Chen. Before he can react, she smashes a beer bottle over his head, knocking him out, only to fall asleep herself immediately after. The two end up sleeping in the same bed until morning. The next day, Yiran wakes up touching Xiao Mucheng's abs. To prevent any misunderstanding, he quickly explains the situation. Yiran, embarrassed and furious, throws him out. At checkout, Yiran is told she has a 600 yuan minibar charge. Heartbroken but resigned, she pays and leaves. Later, while using the restroom, she overhears the front desk mocking her for being stingy. Enraged, she goes home and leaves a scathing review, even posting about it online, attracting a small wave of attention. In the morning, the alarm clock rings. Yiran wakes up in her rented apartment, brushes her teeth, washes her face, eats breakfast, and then rushes out for work. Before leaving, she quietly wishes herself a happy birthday. Meanwhile, Xiao Mucheng wakes up in a five-star hotel suite, carrying himself with elegance and composure. Today, he attends an industry exchange conference where the event organizer, Leng Yishu, swiftly handles an old troublemaker. When she sees Xiao Mucheng arrive, her eyes light up, but it's clear that he is still unaware of the negative review about Quan Hai Hotel. During the meeting, the PR department of Quan Hai Hotel repeatedly calls Xiao Mucheng, but he has no time to answer. When Leng Yishu takes the stage to share hotel management insights, she deliberately and accidentally displays Yiran's online complaint post about Quan Hai Hotel. Xiao Mucheng quickly skims through it, then calmly stands up and explains that Yiran was an invited offline test sleeper for the hotel. He acknowledges that the observations in the pictures are indeed real, but argues that the presence of criticism is precisely what drives Quan Hai's progress. After handling the PR crisis, Xiao Mucheng returns to the hotel and fires the receptionist who made inappropriate remarks about Yiran, as such behavior is unprofessional. He checks the guest records for Yiran's contact details and is informed by her best friend that she is filming on Chunfeng Road. Without hesitation, he heads there alone. That day, Yiran is playing an extra in a horror movie. Because she is dressed in a loose robe with exaggerated makeup, Xiao Mucheng does not recognize her at first. However, Yiran misunderstands his intentions, assuming he wants to pay her for inappropriate reasons. She grabs a horror prop and gives Xiao Mucheng a good scare, making him flee on the spot and decide to change his approach. Xiao Mucheng tracks down Yiran's best friend and sincerely expresses his wish to apologize to Yiran, but she refuses to give him the chance. Instead, she gives him Yiran's home address and hints that today is her birthday. Bringing a birthday gift would surely make Yiran happy. Xiao Mucheng goes to a mall, purchases some cosmetics, and prepares to visit Yiran. At that moment, Yiran is lying in bed, waiting for the cake she ordered. The delivery rider is late by a full 30 minutes. Although dissatisfied, Yiran softens when she sees the female rider delivering food while carrying a child. She still gives a positive review and even shares a piece of cake with the child. Before Yi-Run can close her door, Xiao Mucheng dashes into her room at lightning speed, explaining the issues she encountered at the hotel and formally inviting her to be a test sleeper. All expenses would be covered and she would be paid at market rates. Yi-Run initially has a sour expression, but upon hearing that the pay is $200 per day, she instantly brightens up, immediately asking what a test sleeper needs to do. Xiao Mucheng's request is simple: stay at the hotel and provide honest reviews, whether positive or negative, for 3 days. Meanwhile, the receptionist who was fired is feeling lost, and upon learning that Yiran has been invited back as a test sleeper, hopes to plead with her for help. Xiao Mucheng arranges a VIP service package for Yiran at the hotel, ensuring that everything is of the highest standard. Returning to Quan Hai, Yiran experiences luxury transportation and a high-end suite. However, when she tries to extend her work duration to 7 days, Xiao Mucheng refuses. In response, she begins nitpicking at every detail, forcing Xiao Mucheng to relent and approve the 7-day stay. After signing the contract, Xiao Mucheng leaves the room. The hotel staff specially prepares a cake and red wine to celebrate Yiran's birthday. The next morning, Yiran begins her first official day as a test sleeper, thoroughly inspecting every detail of her stay from all angles. Meanwhile, Xiao Mucheng is following up on an important contract that was nearly finalized, only for it to suddenly go silent due to the negative review scandal. Xiao Mucheng decided to let Yi Ran experience the music room, but she firmly refused. Music always made her sleepy. The assistant tried to persuade her by saying that Xiao Mucheng would also be going with her. Yi Ran relayed the former receptionist's words to Xiao Mucheng, but she had no intention of pleading on her behalf. Xiao Mucheng also refused to reconsider, as the hotel had just received its worst ever review, and this was a matter of professional conduct. However, Yiran didn't want someone to lose their job and future because of her. In other words, she saw herself as God, and God's requests should always be fulfilled. So Xiao Mucheng had no choice but to let the receptionist return to work. Meanwhile, Leng Yishu ran into someone named Lin, who had gotten into the wrong car, leading to a perfectly orchestrated misunderstanding. Yi Ran and Xiao Muqing attended the music performance together. Throughout the concert, Yi Ran kept dozing off, her head unconsciously leaning against Xiao Muqing. By the end, she hadn't heard a single note. After the concert, she asked someone to help buy a photo of them together as a souvenir. Inspired by the experience, Xiao Muqing decided to establish two private music halls in the hotel to cater to guests who had a passion for music. As they were leaving, he realized he was hungry. In gratitude for the concert, Yiran offered to treat him to a meal. Yiran dragged Xiaomucheng to a familiar snack street where every vendor knew her well. Thanks to her suggestions, many had improved their food and their businesses were thriving. She took him to a tiny, rundown eatery and ordered 2 plates of dumplings, one of the rare places that had earned her approval. Initially, Xiao Muqing was skeptical, but after tasting the dumplings, he fell silent. Yiran shared a story. Her family used to run a guest house. Although the place was small, it was always packed. Once they hosted a tour group, but providing meals was a challenge. In the end, her parents took the group to this very restaurant and even ended up cooking alongside the guests. The experience was heartwarming. However, with the rise of chain hotels, many small inns couldn't survive. Inspired by this, Shah Mucheng decided to host special interactive events where chefs and pastry masters would engage with guests on select days. He even invited a chef from India. Later, Yiran noticed a hotel cleaning staff member crying. The girl had bought a skincare set online for her mother, but it caused a severe allergic reaction. The seller refused to take responsibility. Being just an intern with a small salary, the girl was too upset to even argue. Yiran decided to stand up for her. As Yiran passed by the staff lounge, she overheard the former receptionist gossiping about her again, complaining that Yiran was freeloading at the hotel just because of one bad review without the slightest gratitude. Yiran immediately burst through the door, scaring the receptionist so much that her legs nearly gave out. She frantically promised to work hard as long as Yiran didn't tell Shamuching. Yiran didn't say a word. She simply took the allergy inducing skincare cream and applied it to the receptionist's face. With that, she avenged the girl. While taking the elevator, Yiran waited for an elderly janitor, showing her respect, but also encountered an unreasonable guest. Thanks to Yiran's persistence, the seller finally refunded the girl's money, leaving her deeply grateful. Yiran then visited her grandmother at a nursing home. Though her grandmother's memory had faded, she still secretly slipped some of her saved up money into Yiran's hands. Meanwhile, Xiao Mucheng entertained a major client before returning to the hotel and eating a bowl of noodles. The familiar taste brought him a sense of comfort. Yiran never stopped looking for a job, but due to her lack of experience, she faced constant rejection. Without realizing it, she wandered to her family's old guest house. Memories of the joyful times spent there resurfaced, filling her heart with inexplicable sadness. When she returned to the hotel entrance, she saw Xiao Mucheng waiting for her. The moment she arrived, he uttered something that left her completely stunned. Xiao Mucheng asked Yi Ran to date him, claiming it was because the restaurant department's Chishi festival event had too few participants and was encouraging staff to join. Yiran felt like she was being played and was very unhappy. A guest reported Yiran for occupying the guest elevator, but she believed people should be considerate of each other. She even mocked Xiao Mucheng, saying he wasn't genuinely trying to solve the hotel's problems and was just putting on a show. So hypocritical. Xiao Mucheng was momentarily speechless with anger, but when he got home, he couldn't stop thinking about what Yiran had said. Eventually, he called her to ask about the suggestions she had made in her trial stay report, but Yiran was too busy sleeping and ignored him completely. Xiao Mucheng and Leng Yishu were currently competing for Tengyue's project. Tengyue's executive, Lin Yujia, decided to let them fight it out, hoping to gain more benefits for himself. When Leng Yishu returned from a business trip and heard that Xiao Mucheng had organized an open kitchen event and invited Tengyue's executives, she immediately stormed over and, with an air of absolute confidence, declared that she would win. Meanwhile, Yiran discovered that a male guest in one of the rooms had a heart condition and hoped the hotel could help purchase his medication. However, hotel policy prohibited staff from buying prescription drugs for guests. The moment Yiran heard the words heart disease, her expression changed and she rushed out of the hotel to buy the medicine. When she was a child, her father had passed away due to a heart attack because he didn't receive timely treatment. Yiran hurried back to the hotel and handed the medicine to the elderly guest. Before the hotel awards, evaluators would disguise themselves as guests to assess the service. In an attempt to regain Xiao Mucheng's favor, Gu Qindi decided to go above and beyond in serving the evaluators. She mistakenly assumed that the arriving guest, young Master Lin, was one of them and treated him with over the top enthusiasm while checking him in. Faced with Lin Yujia's charming smile, she almost fell head over heels. Young Master Lin was handsome, wealthy, and had a gentle demeanor. He even helped the staff adjust their name badges, instantly making everyone swoon. Yiran received a puzzle from the hotel staff, who said someone had asked them to deliver it. She mistakenly assumed the sender was Xiao Mucheng and secretly followed him to the laundry room to ask why he had given her a puzzle. To her surprise, he denied it. Yiran didn't notice that the laundry room door was broken, and before they knew it, they were locked inside together. Xiao Mucheng didn't have his phone, so he had to use Yiran's to call his assistant. However, his calls kept getting mistaken for spam and were repeatedly hung up on. With no other choice, they lit a few candles. Yiran found the environment quite cozy, but for Xiao Mucheng, it was clear that he had never experienced living in a basement. The two spent the night in the hotel's laundry storage, only to be discovered the next day when staff came to clean the storeroom. In front of everyone, Yiran was sleeping soundly on Xiao Mucheng's arm. Rumors about the two spread like wildfire. As the gossip circulated, the story got even more outrageous. Soon, people were saying that Xiao Mucheng had married young and even had twins. Because of these rumors, Yiran instinctively avoided Xiao Mucheng whenever she saw him. Meanwhile, Xiao Mucheng also felt uneasy, to the point where he even mistook other people for Yiran during meetings. The hotel rumors eventually reached Yiran, but what she heard was that Xiao Mucheng had been married for a long time and already had kids, completely unaware that the rumored wife was actually her. Yiran received a job interview invitation. As she was preparing to leave, she ran into Xiao Mucheng and couldn't help but roll her eyes dramatically at him. Lin Yujia, curious about Yiran, asked the front desk for her room number, but the receptionist refused due to guest privacy policies. However, he coincidentally ran into Yiran in the lobby. On instinct, Lin Yujia started to chase after her, only to see Xiao Mucheng pull up in his car and pick her up. Yiran, looking absolutely annoyed, glared at Xiao Mucheng and called him a scumbag. Yiran drove to her interview location and told Xiao Mucheng to go back on his own. As she was getting out of the car, she struggled to unbuckle her seatbelt. Instinctively, Xiao Mucheng leaned in to help her, and the atmosphere between them gradually became ambiguous. Meanwhile, Lin Yujia ran into Leng Yishu again in the parking lot. Leng Yishu had taken up two parking spaces but refused to move her car, then swaggered away as if nothing had happened. Yiran's interview was for a customer service position, but the environment seemed off. Before she was even hired, they were already asking her to pay a fee. Furious, Yiran slammed the table and walked out. Leng Yishu had arranged a meeting with Tengyue's representatives, but was caught off guard when she realized that the client she had always disliked, Lin Yujia, was actually Tengyue's contact person. Seeing that Lin Yujia showed no real interest in their hotel, she lost motivation to follow up and left. However, young Master Lin was not so easy to deal with. As Leng Yishu was leaving, she discovered that her car had been towed due to a parking violation. Inside the hotel lobby, Lin Yujia and Yiran finally crossed paths. They had been friends for many years, and Yiran finally learned that the puzzle was actually a gift from young Master Lin. Yiran was doing well, and she revealed to Lin Yujia that she was the hotel's mystery guest, meaning he could report any issues to her directly. Yiran was about to attend a singles cocktail party, which was part of her job. Lin Yujia instinctively told her not to go, so Yi Ran decided to bring him along instead. Leng Yishu approached Xiao Muqing, saying she had decided to give up on Tengyue's project and let him take it. Xiao Muqing was surprised but didn't fall into her trap. After all, the client had the final say, so how could she claim to be handing them over to him? At the singles cocktail party, Lin Yujia, the center of attention, immediately caught the interest of two gold diggers. Feeling uncomfortable, he instinctively moved closer to Yiran. Midway through the event, Lin Yujia received a work call and had to step away. Yiran then became the target of the two women, but she wasn't one to be bullied easily. She smashed a cake onto their dresses. Enraged, the two women caused a scene. Hearing about the commotion, Xiao Muqing rushed to the party, only to be splashed in the face with a drink the moment he arrived. Yiran took out a tissue to help wipe his face, but in doing so, she accidentally wiped off his concealer, exposing his dark circles for all to see. Looking at his reflection in the mirror, Xiao Muqing wished everyone could just forget what they had seen. Meanwhile, Gu Chindi was scrolling through social media when she stumbled upon a photo of Yi Ran accepting a tip from a guest. She immediately took the picture to Xiao Muqing to report her. Yi Ran had gone to the office to explain the incident at the cocktail party, but Xiao Muqing wanted to make it clear what was and wasn't acceptable. This is a five-star hotel, not your family's little inn, he snapped. Xiao Muqing ultimately decided to terminate Yiran's contract. Dragging her suitcase behind her, Yiran left the hotel. Sometimes, life was even more absurd than a TV drama, but she could only force herself to keep moving forward. After much hesitation, Xiao Muqing still chased after her in his car. However, what he saw stopped him in his tracks. A dazed Yi Ran standing in the middle of the road, nearly hit by an oncoming car. At the last second, Lin Yujia rushed in to save her. Xiao Muqing lost the courage to step forward. Yi Ran and young Master Lin went to a street food stall for a meal. Feeling down, Yi Ran ate bowl after bowl of lucifin, while young Master Lin, sitting beside her, was nearly overwhelmed by the pungent smell. He comforted Yi Ran, saying that if she couldn't bear to leave her job, he could introduce her to other opportunities. There was no need to be so upset. But Yi Ran wasn't grieving over the job itself. Over the years, she had tried all sorts of jobs, but this was her first time working in the hotel industry. It was the closest she had ever been to her dream. Now, that dream was shattered. How could something so good ever happen to her? Early in the morning, Xiao Muqing went out for a run. Although he didn't want anyone to mention Yiran, he couldn't shake the feeling of unease in his heart. With nowhere else to go, Yiran spent the night at the nursing home, squeezing onto the same bed as her grandmother. The next morning, afraid of being caught by the nurses, she lied and said she had just arrived early. After she left, old Kui found a note Yi Ran had left behind, reminding him to take care of his health. Even the hotel's front desk staff, when dealing with a broken printer, couldn't help but think of her. Xiao Muqing finally had a formal meeting with Lin Yujia and immediately recognized him as the man who had been with Yiran that day. When they shook hands, Xiao Muqing couldn't help but tighten his grip. Lin Yujia had been staying at Quan Hai Hotel for the past 2 days and was fairly satisfied with their service, so he was willing to collaborate with them. However, his only condition was that Yiran be reinstated as the hotel's mystery guest. If she came back, he would cover all her expenses for the next 3 years. Quan Hai had no reason to refuse such an offer, but Xiao Muqing rejected it anyway, emphasizing that Yiran was not a bargaining chip in his negotiations. Xiao Muqing received Yiran's mystery guest report, and her review post had also garnered a great response. A guest whom Yiran had helped buy medicine left a gift at checkout, asking Xiao Muqing to pass it on to her, as she had essentially saved his life. Only then did Xiao Muqing realize that he had misunderstood Yiran. Reflecting on the things she had said, he began to feel something stir inside him. In the past few days, Yiran had taken on work as a designated driver and a florist assistant, but she kept facing setbacks. When her grandmother called to check on her, she even lied, saying that her boss had treated her to a meal and that she was eating well. Because of Yiran, Xiao Muqing started to see things he hadn't understood before in a new light. Yiran got a job at a cafe, handing out coffee samples outside to promote the shop. At first, no one paid any attention, but suddenly a crowd appeared, eager to buy coffee. Yiran soon discovered the truth. All those people had been sent by Xiao Muqing. Furious, she couldn't understand why he was doing this. That evening, Yiran met up with her good friends. Though they were exhausted from drifting through an unfamiliar city alone, they felt that as long as they were doing what they loved, all the hardship was worth it. Xiaomuqing went to the cafe where Yi Ran was working and saw that her boss was harassing her. Unable to hold back, he slapped the man across the face. The boss, in retaliation, withheld Yi Ran's 1 month advance salary. Xiaomuqing paid off her debt and took her away from the cafe. He then formally invited Yi Ran to join the hotel. He had finally come to understand that she had been right all along. What customers paid for wasn't just luxurious facilities and services, they simply wanted to leave with a feeling that would make them want to return. But Yi Ran refused. To her, this was nothing more than charity from Xiao Muqing. She turned and walked away. Seeing him also turn and leave without hesitation, she grumbled about his lack of sincerity. On the bus, Yiran saw Xiao Muqing standing on top of his car, holding a giant sign apologizing to her and promising to do better. She lowered her head, stifling a laugh, and muttered under her breath, "Lunatic." Quan Hai's financial situation wasn't great, making it the perfect time for an outsider to step in. Lin Yujia had his own plans. He decided to partner with Leng Yishu with the same condition that Yiran join the hotel as a mystery guest. But just as he left, he was informed that Yiran had already rejoined Quan Hai. Leng Yishu came to Quan Hai to seek a partnership with Xiao Muqing and took the opportunity to show off her newly secured collaboration with Teng Yue. However, when he saw Lin Yujia staying at Quan Hai, his face turned green. Meanwhile, a guest at Quan Hai was causing a scene. After going through a divorce, he stood on the balcony crying and threatening to jump. To stop him, Yi Ran rushed over, crying as well, and claimed that she had only discovered on her wedding day that her partner was already married with twins. Her dramatic performance successfully talked him down. Xiao Muqing hurried over upon receiving the news, but instead of being relieved, he was angry at Yi Ran for her unconventional approach. Yi Ran officially became a housekeeping staff member, but her colleagues believed her story about being deceived by a scumbag and secretly felt sorry for her. Yi Ran's good intentions were misunderstood, leaving her in a foul mood. Seeing her unhappy, Lin Yujia offered to arrange another job for her, but she stubbornly stayed to prove a point. Xiao Muqing mistakenly thought Yi Ran had an ex-husband named Li Lei. Yi Ran rolled her eyes. It was just a made-up story. Xiao Muqing told Yi Ran she had to attend housekeeping training the next day and could only become a full-time employee after passing. He arranged a dormitory for her, and with its good lighting, Yi Ran took an instant liking to it. The next morning, Yi Ran received a call from Gu Shindi saying that Xiao Muqing had arranged for her to attend the training. The trainer, Sister Man, was strict. Only those who passed the assessment could officially join. Xiao Muqing scheduled Yi Ran to take a test in his office every night at 8 p.m., leaving her with no room to complain. Gu Chindi was dragged along to celebrate with Yi Ran, as they were now colleagues. She also formally apologized for what had happened before. For hotel financing, Leng Yishu sought investment from Baseman, only to discover that the real boss behind Baseman was also President Lin. Lin Yujia found Leng Yishu amusing. Anything related to Quan Hai, he had to fight for. At 8 p.m., Yi Ran arrived punctually at Xiao Muqing's office for her test. From then on, her days were filled with reciting, practicing her smile, and tackling English, the hardest part. Struggling with English, Yiran sought help from Gusindi, who taught her a few foolproof phrases. So whenever she met foreign guests, she would say her English wasn't great, but managed to get by just fine. After 2 days of training, Yiran felt confident in her housekeeping skills. However, Xiao Muqing nitpicked at every detail, telling her to start with turn down service and report back that night for inspection. Yiran misunderstood turn down service, thinking it was some inappropriate hidden rule. Outraged, she vowed to expose the hotel's dark secrets and planned to catch Xiao Muqing in the act. Determined, she wrapped herself in a bathrobe and, embracing the spirit of self sacrifice, seductively sprawled on the bed, though deep down she had a bit of anticipation. Xiao Muqing only arrived a long while after Yiran sent her message. Seeing her dressed like that, he was utterly confused. Yiran, unable to hold back, lunged at him. As they tussled, they rolled off the bed and onto the floor. Xiao Muqing was livid at Yiran's actions, his face dark with anger. He called Xiaolu over and asked her to properly explain what housekeeping service actually was. Only then did Yiran realize she had completely misunderstood. Xiao Muqing instructed Xiaolu to teach Yiran thoroughly, as he would be back to inspect her work the next day. Meanwhile, Yiran also had to memorize all the vehicles near the hotel. After saying this, Xiao Muqing struggled to stand up and left in pain. Leng Yishu heard that Quan Hai would be hosting a gratitude banquet in 3 days, which happened to coincide with their own event. Worried about being overshadowed, Leng Yishu decided to move their event forward by 1 day and swiftly set all preparations in motion. Xiao Muqing received an invitation from his competitor but remained unfazed. Yiran had memorized everything he had asked her to. Even Sister Man approved her performance. Yet, when it came time for her official confirmation as a full-time employee, Xiao Muqing still blocked her. Furious, Yiran cursed him for being overbearing. Did he think the hotel belonged to his family? Only then did the others reveal an open secret. The hotel really did belong to Xiao Muqing's family. Xiao Muqing summoned Yi Ren and instructed her to attend Poken's event that afternoon. Since everyone else was unfamiliar with the attendees, she was the most suitable person for the task. He even prepared an evening gown for her. Yi Ran arrived at the event in an unfamiliar dress and high heels, meticulously reporting every detail to Xiao Muqing, nearly driving him insane with her constant messages. While at the event, Yi Ran took advantage of freebies and unexpectedly ran into Lin Yujia, who had also been invited. Lin Yujia was caught up dealing with Leng Yishu, and the next thing he knew, Yi Ran had disappeared. Xiao Muqing received a call from Yi Ran, and amidst the sounds of screaming, he assumed something had happened to her. Without hesitation, he rushed over, only to find Yi Ran squatting in a corner, rubbing her sore feet from wearing heels. Xiao Muqing wanted to take her away, but when he noticed Leng Yishu nearby, he made sure to clarify that he had not sent Yiran here. Yiran thought Xiao Muqing was deliberately making things difficult for her and became even more unwilling to leave. The event featured a grand prize segment, and Yiran dragged Lin Yujia on stage to participate. Unwilling to be left out, Xiao Muqing shamelessly followed and threatened Yiran not to abandon her boss. Seeing both Lin Yujia and Xiao Muqing so eager to participate, Leng Yishu also joined in. Thus, the pairs of Xiao Muqing and Yiran, along with Lin Yujia and Leng Yishu, formed two competing teams and had a blast on stage. However, the friendly competition led to a grudge between Xiao Muqing and Lin Yujia. Yiran tried her best to ease the tension, but her efforts fell flat. During dinner, Lin Yujia and Xiao Muqing fought over who could serve food to Yiran, while Leng Yishu watched in exasperation. The spicy dishes made Xiao Muqing sweat profusely, revealing his dark circles. Yiran quickly pointed it out, prompting the two of them to find an excuse to leave the scene. Inside the car, Yiran carefully helped Xiao Muqing touch up his makeup, and the atmosphere grew increasingly ambiguous. Leng Yishu couldn't understand what was so special about Yiran that both Xiao Muqing and Lin Yujia were competing over her. However, in Lin Yujia's heart, Yiran was truly different from anyone else. Yiran refused to take Xiao Muqing's car home and insisted on dragging him onto the bus with her. Xiao Muqing found the environment unbearable, but Yiran handed him an earbud, sharing her music. Without realizing it, the two fell asleep together and didn't wake until they reached the final stop. After getting off the bus, Yiran playfully complained that her feet hurt and she couldn't walk. Xiao Muqing hailed an elderly man's tricycle, placed Yiran on it, and pushed her along from behind. Meanwhile, Leng Yishu and Lin Yujia spent the night at a karaoke lounge. When Leng Yishu woke up the next morning, she found her hands tied. Lin Yujia looked aggrieved. If she hadn't gotten drunk and started swinging punches, he wouldn't have had to restrain her. Suddenly, a chilling rumor spread in the hotel. There had been a supernatural incident. While everyone else was scared, Yi Ran was the only one thrilled by the news. Lin Yujia invited Yi Ran to dinner. She felt a little uneasy in such an upscale restaurant, but Lin Yujia told her that today was an important day and he had something to say to her. Before he could finish speaking, Yi Ran encountered a foreign guest from the hotel who was very interested in their restaurant's wine and had even taken some. The guest, David, angrily confronted the restaurant owner with the wine in hand, questioning why they had been given sample wine instead of actual cooperation. Yiran slammed the table and stepped forward to argue with the restaurant owner, while Lin Yujia stood by recording the owner's ugly behavior. At the front desk, a call came in about persistent knocking on the wall from the adjacent room. Shu Yun went to investigate alone, but according to the system, that room was unoccupied. Gathering her courage, she stepped inside, only for the lights to flicker eerily. Terrified, she bolted, only to run into a girl with long hair and a white dress in the corridor. Shu Yuan immediately hid in the stairwell, but from there, she saw a strange shadow downstairs. Little did she know, the shadow in the stairwell actually belonged to Old Kui. The next day, convinced she had really encountered a ghost, she decided to take leave. The rumors of hauntings at the hotel grew increasingly exaggerated, even reaching Leng Yishu's ears. However, she found such talk absurd. With Yi Ran's introduction, David and Xiao Muqing successfully reached a cooperation agreement. David was extremely grateful to Yi Ran, though she couldn't understand what he was saying. As a reward for her successful recommendation, Xiao Muqing decided to give Yi Ran a raise. Regarding the ghost rumors, Xiao Muqing held a meeting to warn everyone not to spread false stories. Yi Ran noticed that Xiao Muqing's wound was still unhealed, so she secretly brought some medicinal patches to his office. She intended to leave them quietly and slip away, but Xiao Muqing caught her in the act. During Yi Ran's working hours, Lin Yujia called her into a room, saying he had something to show her. When Xiao Muqing heard that Yi Ran had been called away for housekeeping service by Lin Yujia, he immediately panicked. Lin Yujia had prepared a candlelit dinner for Yi Ran. She gave an awkward smile, then casually cut the heart-shaped steak in half and divided the heart-shaped cake into 8 pieces. Just as Lin Yujia was about to confess, Xiao Muqing rushed in, determined to take Yi Ran away. Once again, Lin Yujia's confession attempt failed. To keep Yi Ran from being summoned by Lin Yujia again, Xiao Muqing assigned her the task of inventory counting. While in the storage room, the two of them heard a mysterious crying sound. Yi Ran, filled with curiosity, dragged Xiao Muqing toward the source of the sound. There, they discovered a hidden door and found a man sleeping inside. Startled, Xiao Muqing fell on his backside. It turned out that this man was a former hotel security guard who had been fired for sleeping on the job and had no choice but to sleep there since then. Xiao Muqing encountered a tour group that had been left stranded due to their reserved hotel refusing to check them in. The travel agency was shirking responsibility, so Xiao Muqing arranged a meeting with Leng Yishu. Leng Yishu had always believed that Xiao Muqing had feelings for her, so she meticulously dressed up for their meeting, only to realize that he was actually there to discuss business, not to confess his feelings. Meanwhile, Lin Yujia took the opportunity to meet Yi Ran alone. Confirming that no one would interrupt their moment, he finally mustered the courage to confess his feelings. Yi Ran remained unfazed. She had known since she was 6 years old that Lin Yujia liked her, but she had always seen him as a brother. In an attempt to save face, Lin Yujia quickly claimed that he was just practicing for his real confession to someone else. Leng Yishu stormed out of Quan Hai in a fury. In the elevator, she encountered a girl with long hair who spoke to her in a chilling tone. The moment the elevator doors opened, Leng Yishu ran away in panic. Lin Yujia, seeing her flustered figure, turned to Yi Ran and confessed that the person he truly liked was actually Leng Yishu. Yi Ran encouraged him to pursue his love bravely. Turning around, Yi Ran saw the long-haired girl and gently braided her hair before taking her out for mango mousse. The little girl explained that she was waiting for her mother because her parents had divorced. However, after finishing the mango cake, she suddenly collapsed and had to be taken away in an ambulance. When her mother arrived, she was furious, while Yiran panicked. She had no idea that the girl was allergic to mango. Xiaomucheng told Yiran to stay at the hotel, assuring her that he would handle the situation. Lin Yujia and Leng Yishu were drinking at a bar together. Lin Yujia was heartbroken after being rejected by Yiran, while Leng Yishu kept convincing herself that what she saw at the hotel earlier must have been a mistake. The two were completely out of sync. Leng Yishu then received a call informing her that Yiran had given a child the wrong food, causing an allergic reaction and sending her to the hospital. She immediately instructed her contacts to alert the media and spread ghost stories about the hotel. Lin Yujia blamed her for involving the media, arguing that this would only put Yiran in the spotlight. But Leng Yishu didn't care. At worst, Yiran would be fired. Besides, wasn't Lin Yujia also hoping for her to leave Quanhai? The little girl with the mango allergy was out of danger but still needed observation. Xiao Muqing repeatedly apologized to her mother. Meanwhile, Lin Yujia found Yiran, who had been hiding away in guilt. She felt like she couldn't do anything right and had now even brought trouble upon the hotel. Just then, a lawyer arrived with someone to speak with the little girl's mother. They claimed to be fellow victims and wanted to seek justice together. These people were actually arranged by Leng Yishu. She was eager to see how Xiao Muqing would protect Yiran. The girl's mother refused any discussion and demanded that Yiran be fired. Hearing this, many colleagues worried that Yiran would have to leave. They jointly wrote a petition to Xiao Muqing, hoping to keep her. However, Yiran voluntarily submitted her resignation, knowing that she had to take responsibility for the incident. Xiao Muqing decided to suspend her for now, saying that an official decision would be made in a couple of days. Xiao Muqing was unsure of the correct way to handle the situation. Only after being reminded did he realize that the child was also a guest of the hotel. He brought a gift to visit the little girl, but her mother was furious and immediately chased him away. The girl then told her mother that she had chosen the mango cake herself that day. Her mother, enraged, scolded her for causing unnecessary trouble. In the end, she decided to settle things with the hotel. Yiran visited the little girl and asked her why she ate the cake when she knew she was allergic. The girl burst into tears, saying she only wanted her mother to pay more attention to her. She felt guilty for causing trouble for Yiran because, during this time, Yiran was the only one who had shown her any care. With the misunderstanding resolved, Xiao Muqing agreed to let Yiran stay at the hotel, though she still had to face consequences. Yiran's salary for the month was deducted as punishment for violating hotel regulations. Yiran then received a call saying that her grandmother was missing. She immediately set out with Xiao Muqing and Lin Yujia to search for her. After a long search, they finally found her. She was going around asking strangers if they had seen Ranran. Yet even when she saw Yiran, she didn't recognize her. Her grandmother was safely returned to the nursing home. As Yiran ate the dumplings her grandmother had gone out to buy, she felt a deep sorrow in her heart. In reality, Yiran and her grandmother were not blood relatives. Back when her family ran a guest house, the elderly woman was a long-term resident. Since she had no children, Yiran's father gradually treated her like family. After losing her father, Yiran and her grandmother relied on each other for support. This was the first time Yiran had ever talked about her grandmother to Xiao Muqing. His eyes gradually turned red as he recalled his own mother. With tears streaming down her face, Yiran said that ever since her father passed, she would feel hungry very easily. Eating had become her simplest way of showing love for herself. The next morning, Yiran woke up in Xiao Muqing's room. Panicking, she quickly put on her shoes and ran back to her dorm, unable to figure out why she had slept there in the first place. Later, Xiaolu and the others ganged up on Yiran, gossiping about her and Xiao Muqing. Last night, Yiran had gotten so drunk that she tormented Xiao Muqing for hours. Left with no choice, he had let her sleep in his room for the night. Yiran was devastated after hearing about what she had done to Xiao Muqing the night before. He must have wanted to kill her. However, everyone thought Xiao Muqing seemed quite normal, except for the fact that he was doing whatever Yiran asked him to do. That was what seemed abnormal. They all assumed that the two of them were together. Otherwise, Shao Muching would have already kicked Yiran out. Shao Muching had Yiran on his mind all day. When she knocked on his office door, he pretended to be extremely busy. Yiran hoped he would just pretend nothing had happened the previous night. After all, who hasn't been bitten by a dog before? Shao Muching, on the other hand, had nowhere to vent his frustration and couldn't even put his grievances into words. No one wanted to take responsibility for editing short videos, so Shao Muching assigned the task to Yiran, who was convinced that he was using his power for personal revenge. Determined to figure out what she had actually done to him, Yiran went to the security office to check the surveillance footage, only to discover that in the elevator that night, Shao Muching had kissed her. Yiran couldn't quite make sense of it, but there was a trace of smugness on her face. That night, she lay in bed, tossing and turning, unable to figure out why Shao Muching had kissed her. So, she called him. Shao Muching had been anxiously waiting for Yiran's call, but before he could pick up, she hung up. When he called her back, she was so flustered that she turned off her phone. Frustrated and unable to understand his own feelings, Xiao Muching told Yanshu to accompany him to the gym in half an hour to blow off some steam. At a bar, Lin Yujia was drowning his sorrows and intended to call Yi Ran, but he accidentally dialed Leng Yishu instead. Leng Yishu rushed over to drink with him, and the two posted photos together on social media. Yi Ran was in low spirits all day, unable to figure out why Xiao Muching had kissed her. After agonizing over it for hours, she finally went to his office, but Xiao Muching acted cold and distant, ignoring her. After hesitating for a while, Yi Ran left. Everyone assumed Lin Yujia and Leng Yishu were now together and that Yi Ran was just a backup option. They gathered to comfort her, but Yi Ran was completely confused and quickly explained that she and Lin Yujia were childhood friends who had grown up as neighbors. Meanwhile, everyone was curious about why Old Kui, despite his age, was still working at the hotel. Old Kui revealed that he was waiting for his wife. Years ago, she had been sent to work in Europe and lost contact with him. Later, his home was relocated, and the site became Quan Hai Hotel. Since then, he had stayed there, hoping that one day his wife would return to find him. It was because of this story that Xiao Muching had made an exception and allowed Old Kui to keep working at the hotel. That day, a famous guest, Miss Bei, checked into Quan Hai. She was an astrology master with 10 million followers. Leng Yishu went to find Xiao Muching and insisted he treat her to a meal. When they arrived at the restaurant, they spotted Lin Yujia and Yi Ran dining together. Leng Yishu suggested that they all eat together, and Lin Yujia immediately sat beside Yi Ran. Xiao Muching was so angry that he was practically grinding his teeth to dust. In reality, Leng Yishu and Xiao Muching had also grown up together. She even claimed that she knew exactly how many birthmarks Xiao Muching had on his backside. Hearing this, Yi Ran was instantly jealous. The two slammed the table and stormed off. Leng Yishu and Lin Yujia's plan had failed, and they ended up having a huge argument. Miss Bei's room was filled with flowers. She claimed they were gifts from her fans and that she didn't want to disappoint them. Xiao Muching visited her room to discuss the matter, but Miss Bei used the excuse that she had lost an earring and asked him to help her find it. While he was distracted, she suddenly hugged him from behind, startling him. Yi Ren was originally sent to talk to Miss Bei, but when she arrived at the door, she saw Miss Bei clinging tightly to Xiao Muching, refusing to let go. Without hesitation, she delivered a flying kick to rescue him. Although Xiao Muching was also furious, he could only apologize to the guest. Miss Bei explained that Xiao Muching looked a lot like a friend of hers. Yi Ren was about to curse her out, but Xiao Muching forcibly dragged her away. No matter what, Miss Bei was still a guest. Yi Ren grumbled the whole way, calling Xiao Muching a central air conditioner. Xiao Muching then told Yi Ren to hand over the video to Huajie the next day. Yi Ren stayed up all night to complete the task, only to be called again to deliver documents to him. Chen Mo emphasized how important the documents were, wearing an expression as if he were marching to his doom. When Xiao Muching saw Yi Ran arrive, He was noticeably happy and told her to amuse herself while he handled some matters. Yiran unknowingly dozed off and woke up to find herself on the sofa at Xiaomucheng's house. Xiaomucheng had prepared a feast and invited Yiran to stay for dinner as a reward for her hard work. Starving, Yiran immediately dug in, praising his sweet and sour pork, saying it was just as good as her father's. As she ate, a warm feeling grew in her heart. She looked at Xiao Muching, wanting to bring up the incident in the elevator, but Xiao Muching simply said he had already forgotten about it. Yi Ran hesitantly mumbled that she liked Xiao Muching. He repeatedly confirmed he hadn't misheard. Xiao Mucheng didn't reject Yiran because he too had proven that he liked her as well. Meanwhile, Lin Yujia was discussing investment matters when he overheard that Leng Yishu was also entertaining clients next door. She had been drinking heavily, toasting one executive after another just to secure a contract. With no other choice, she excused herself to the restroom. Unhappy with what he heard, Lin Yujia ordered a large amount of alcohol and walked into the private room. If they liked drinking so much, then he would drink with them. By the time Leng Yishu returned, the other executives had already been sent away, leaving only Lin Yujia behind. Leng Yishu had had too much to drink, so Lin Yujia stayed to take care of her. She had always believed that Shah Mucheng was the most perfect person she knew, someone who naturally belonged to her. However, Lin Yujia argued that she didn't actually like Shah Mucheng. To help her understand what it really felt like to like someone, he leaned in close. At that moment, both of them could hear each other's heartbeats. Later, while Lin Yujia was driving Leng Yishu home, she sat in the passenger seat, still drunk. Suddenly, she grabbed his face and kissed him. That night, after confirming their relationship, neither Xiao Muching nor Yi Ran could fall asleep. Lin Yujia brought Leng Yishu back to the hotel, and as he looked at her lips, he felt a slight urge. The next morning, Xiao Muching had breakfast delivered to Yiran, making her heart swell with happiness. Leng Yishu woke up with a hangover and found her face covered in doodles drawn by Lin Yujia. At that moment, Lin Yujia was taking a shower. Realizing she was in his home, she was completely shocked. Since the employee handbook strictly prohibited workplace romances, Yi Ran was terrified of anyone finding out about their relationship. However, Xiao Muching constantly took advantage of their alone time to get close to her. Lin Yojia originally planned to have a serious conversation with Leng Yishu about the previous night, but she didn't want to hear it. Meanwhile, Quan Hai's chairman, Xiao Mucheng's father, arrived. As soon as Leng Yishu heard about it, she rushed over, seeing him as her trump card. Xiao Mucheng's father had always regarded Leng Yishu as his daughter-in-law. However, Xiao Mucheng firmly told him that he already had someone he liked. Unwilling to accept this, Leng Yishu declared that whether or not Xiao Mucheng liked her was irrelevant. What mattered was that she liked him. To confirm her feelings, she leaned in close, only to realize that her heart wasn't racing. Unwilling to give up, she attempted to forcibly kiss him, only to be caught by Yiran, who angrily threw a rag at them and stormed off. Xiao Mucheng immediately ran after her to explain. Yiran went to visit her grandmother, who, despite her poor memory, still deeply cared about her. However, when her grandmother brought up Yiran's mother, Yiran became resistant. Because of her parents' divorce, she had never been able to understand her mother. At the hotel, Xiao Mucheng's father was smoking when Yiran appeared and put out his cigarette, firmly stating that no one, no matter who they were, had special privileges. Furious, Xiao Mucheng's father demanded that his son fire her. Xiaolu rushed over in shock, saying that Xiao Mucheng had just been bullied by an old man and had even been slapped hard. Yiran immediately grabbed a bottle of wine and rushed over without saying a word. Xiaolu thought it over and decided to gather more people, not wanting Yiran to suffer any harm. Xiao Mucheng and his father, Xiao Fu, had a confrontation over Yiran. Yiran barged in with the wine bottle to defend Xiao Mucheng. Xiao Mucheng quickly stopped her and informed her about Xiao Fu's identity. Yiran quickly changed her expression to a smile. Xiao Fu was very dissatisfied with Yiran and demanded that she leave, but Xiao Mucheng firmly disagreed, stating that if Yiran were to leave, he would leave with her. Yiran left the room feeling downcast and uncertain. In the hallway, she encountered a woman. Upon seeing her face clearly, Yiran froze. A little boy jumped around, calling her mommy. Yiran was stunned. It was her long lost mother. Leng Yishu realized that whenever she got close to Lin Yujia, her heart would race. However, she didn't want to admit that she liked him, so she angrily splashed him with a bottle of water. While Yiran was cleaning, a little girl passed by and got her clothes dirty with soap water. The girl angrily blamed Yiran, and her mother quickly arrived to deal with the situation. When Yiran saw her face, she quickly turned her head, not wanting to be recognized. Yiran offered to wash the clothes or buy her a new one, but the little girl continued to complain. Xiao Mucheng arrived to handle the situation, and the mother recognized Yiran. Later, Yiran's mother specifically came to confirm her identity and cried, saying she had left the family out of necessity. Yiran's mother had been gone for over 20 years, and since she left, Yiran had no mother. Shaolu overheard their conversation by chance and was greatly surprised, feeling sympathetic for Yiran. Xiao Muching overheard the conversation as well and was deeply shocked. Leng Yishu came to offer favors to Xiaofu, and Xiaofu wanted to arrange a meeting with her father to discuss matters. He also mentioned that she was someone he approved of. After offending the chairman, Yiran unexpectedly met her biological mother. Feeling distressed, she went to a food stall to drink away her troubles, stubbornly saying that she didn't matter to herself and that the woman wasn't her real family. After drinking, she woke up and found Xiaomucheng sitting next to her. Xiaomucheng had learned about Yiran's mother and decided to take her to a place to vent. Yiran's mind was filled with the images of her mother leaving and her father being taken away by an ambulance. In the end, she cried in Xiaomucheng's arms for a long time. After venting, Yiran felt much better, but still worried that Xiaomucheng might be put in a difficult position by Xiaofu because of her. At worst, she would leave, but Xiaomucheng vowed to protect her with all his strength. Everyone was gossiping about Miss Bei when they noticed Yiran and still showed concern for her. Yiran nodded and then called Xiaolu over to chat privately. To secure an investment from Baseman, Xiaomucheng was exhausting all his efforts to devise a plan. Yiran was called by Xiaofu to help at the restaurant, and after confirming, she rushed over. Xiaofu had arranged to have dinner with Ling Yishu's parents and invited Xiaomucheng as well. Yiran was specifically assigned as the server. Seeing this, Xiaomucheng became anxious and refused to let Yiran serve, but it was to no avail. Yiran, with a serious face, helped them set the table and watched as both families discussed their matters. Xiaomucheng quickly took him out. Yiran didn't want to be caught in the middle like this. Xiaomucheng's attitude had been ambiguous. Was it really so hard to clear things up face to face? Lin Yojia's true target was Quan Hai, and he had been plotting against him all along. Yiran, feeling frustrated, went to the beach to walk. When Lin Yujia received a message from Leng Yishu, he rushed over to comfort her. Yiran thought they were sympathizing with each other, but Lin Yujia's real target had always been Yiran. Yiran was called by the little girl to clean the room, but the girl deliberately caused trouble, trying to make Yiran's job more difficult. Yiran could no longer tolerate it. Yiran's mother discovered what was happening and slapped her daughter. She said she wanted to talk to Yiran and that they were going to leave the next day. Yiran's mother said she would leave the next day and probably wouldn't come back. She wanted to take Yiran with her to start a new life. Yiran had been waiting for this moment for a long time, but it was now too late. On the day Yiran's mother left, Yiran did not show up. Xiao Mucheng held a box, saying that Yiran had entrusted him to pass it on. While cleaning the room, Yiran found a letter left by her mother. In the letter, she wrote that she was not a perfect mother. She married for happiness and she divorced for the same reason. At that time, she and Yiran's father constantly argued and she did not want to be trapped in that situation. After the divorce, she had no stable place to live, so she was unable to take Yiran with her. She did not expect Yiran to forgive her but hoped that Yiran would never doubt her love. Yiran's mother also left her a bank card, knowing how exhausting it was to survive in society. She hoped that this money would help Yiran live a better life. Standing on the rooftop, Yiran read the letter, tears streaming down her face. Miss Bay suddenly appeared and, noticing Yiran's distress, remarked that she must be facing her own challenges. Miss Bay said that the only person who could heal her was herself. After Miss Bay left, Yiran chose to throw away the bank card. Yiran went to visit her grandmother. Her mother was doing well, with a new family and a daughter. Now Yiran had come to terms with everything. The night before, Miss Bay had placed a wreath in the hallway, causing complaints to flood in. Hearing that Miss Bay had gone to the rooftop again, Yiran rushed up in panic, fearing she might be thinking of ending things. However, Miss Bay was not there to jump. 3 years ago, on this day, she met her boyfriend there and they had a wonderful time together. But later, he disappeared and they never saw each other again. Over the years, Miss Bay never gave up trying to use fortune telling to find him. But now, she had finally let go. Yiran was deeply moved and went to ask Xiao Muqing for help in finding her lost lover. Yiran believed that love should not be left unresolved, even if the reason for separation seemed ridiculous. These words were also meant for Xiao Muqing to hear. Chenmo brought news about Baseman, but Xiao Muqing was extremely cautious. He didn't believe in free lunches. Yiran's friend, Pan Yi, kept facing obstacles in pursuing her dreams, while her mother constantly called to pressure her into marriage. Unable to handle the stress, she fainted. Yiran, who had been searching for a wedding planner named Huang Jiawei, rushed to the hospital upon hearing that Pan Yi had collapsed and scolded her for singing during the day and leave streaming at night without caring about her health. Pan Yi, feeling low, simply said she wanted to eat and asked Yiran to buy her some food. Xiao Muqing sent people to find Huang Jiawei and, before Miss Bay left, brought the wheelchair-bound Huang Jiawei in front of her. The reason Huang Jiawei disappeared was that he had been diagnosed with ALS and didn't want to burden Miss Bay. However, for Miss Bay, having him by her side was the most important thing. Xiao Muqing made a special trip to the hospital to visit Huang Jiawei and persuaded him to meet Miss Bay. Xiao Muqing suggested that Yiran try out the resort's activities as a way to relax while he handled the other matters. That evening, while Yiran was tidying up her room, Lin Yujia arrived with a cake she liked. Upon hearing that Yiran was going to experience the resort's activities, Lin Yujia immediately decided to tag along. The next day, when Xiao Muqing heard that Lin Yujia had taken Yiran away, he became furious and decided to go after them himself. However, he ran into Xiaofu and Leng Yishu. Xiaofu suggested that Leng Yishu accompany Xiao Muqing on the trip. The four of them met at the resort, creating an incredibly awkward atmosphere. Xiao Muqing and Yiran bickered with each other, while Lin Yujia and Leng Yishu decided to wait for the right moment to act. Xiaofu had not expected all four of them to go together. He didn't necessarily insist on Xiao Muqing being with Leng Yishu, he just wanted to see whether Xiao Muqing would stick to his choice. That night, Xiao Muqing sneakily came to Yiran's room to ask for a disposable toothbrush, making several trips back and forth until Yiran got annoyed. Meanwhile, Lin Yujia was worried about Xiao Muqing, fearing that this troublemaker would get too close to Yiran. The next day, when they went out to play, Xiao Muqing shoved Yiran into the back seat and took the passenger seat next to Lin Yujia. Xiao Muqing, Leng Yishu, Yiran, and Lin Yujia went out together in pairs. However, Xiao Muqing kept inching closer to Yiran, while Leng Yishu and Lin Yujia did their best to separate them. Along the way, they saw people dancing. Lin Yujia, reminiscing about his childhood, grabbed Yiran and rushed into the crowd. Seeing this, Xiao Muqing also pulled Leng Yishu into dance. Suddenly, it started to rain. Xiao Muqing and Ni Ran took shelter together, while Leng Yishu and Lin Yujia got separated from them, much to Xiao Muqing's relief. Meanwhile, Leng Yishu and Lin Yujia found themselves in two separate tents, blaming each other for the situation. Xiao Muqing and Ni Ran heard about the legend of the Lover's Lock here, which was said to be very effective. An enthusiastic vendor tried hard to sell them one, but Yiran refused. Eventually, after much insistence, Xiao Muqing had no choice but to buy one. When the rain stopped, Xiao Muqing and Yi Ran hung the Lover's Lock together. Meanwhile, Lin Yujia twisted his ankle as he came out of the tent, and Leng Yishu took him back. Leng Yishu then asked Yi Ran to help massage Lin Yujia's ankle. Seeing this, Xiao Mucheng's eyes practically burned with anger. Without saying a word, he replaced Yi Ran and grabbed Lin Yujia's legs, as if ready to teach him a lesson. That evening, each of the four prepared a dish. Xiao Mucheng and Lin Yujia fought over Yi Ran's fish balls, while Leng Yishu's premium salmon was left untouched. At the same time, Gao Su and her assistant checked into Quan Hai Hotel. A fan of Miss Bay was taking photos as a keepsake, but accidentally captured Gao Shu in the background. The assistant made a scene, demanding the fan delete the photo, but Gao Shu stepped in to resolve the matter. In reality, Gao Shu was a fading actress. Though she appeared kind and approachable, the truth was that many celebrities and their assistants played the classic good cop, bad cop routine, one acting friendly while the other stirred up trouble. Leng Yishu confided in Yiran, admitting that she was jealous of her free spirited nature and carefree attitude. In return, Yiran admitted that she too envied Leng Yishu, who was seen as the ideal wealthy and beautiful woman, while she herself had nothing. Leng Yishu envied that Yiran had Xiao Muching and even asked if she could give him up. But Yiran refused. He was someone she couldn't give away. At that moment, Leng Yishu finally understood Lin Yujia's feelings. They were just two clowns suffering the same fate. The hotel receptionist informed Gao Su that the restaurant was now empty, so she could go down to eat. She and her assistant finally headed downstairs, unaware that someone was following them. Yiran and Lin Yujia visited her grandmother, bringing a foot bath as a gift. However, the grandmother mistook Lin Yujia for Xiao Muching, saying that Xiao Muching had been visiting often and even giving her massages. Yiran also bought vitamins for Pan Yi, reminding her to take care of herself. However, Pan Yi revealed that she wanted to leave. She was tired and no longer had the strength to keep drifting. What once seemed like a cool dream now felt like a joke. Seeing that Pan Yi had already made up her mind, Yi Ran felt sorry for her, but didn't try to stop her. Meanwhile, Xiao Fu took Yi Ran to a private collection room. He coldly remarked that she and Xiao Mucheng came from completely different worlds, like the clouds and the mud. To him, Xiao Mucheng's feelings for her were nothing more than a fleeting novelty. At the same time, Lin Yujia, as the head of Baseman, entered negotiations with Quan Hai, offering very tempting terms. However, Xiao Mucheng rejected them once again. Chenmo was growing concerned. If things dragged on any longer, Xiao Mucheng might not be able to hold on to Quan Hai. Yi Ran wasn't interested in Gao Su. She was more focused on the upcoming evaluation and even considered that having a part-time job might not be a bad idea. During dinner, she deliberately picked up a knife and fork to give them a try. After all, Xiao Fu had mentioned that Xiao Mucheng had been using them since childhood, but Yi Ran clearly wasn't used to it. Gao Su attended a brand event, and while inviting fans on stage for a group photo, a crazed fan suddenly rushed up and harassed her. Xiao Mucheng stepped in to restrain the person and protect Gao Shu, but in the process, he was hit by a falling advertisement board and sent to the hospital. Xiaolu, upon hearing the news, rushed in a panic to inform Yiran. When Yiran arrived at the hospital, a nurse told her that the injuries were severe and that they had done their best. Yiran cried by his bedside for a long time. But then, Xiao Mucheng suddenly appeared in a wheelchair. It turned out that the person the nurse was talking about had also been hit by the falling board. But unfortunately for him, his was much larger. Yiran let out a sigh of relief and scolded Xiao Mucheng for recklessly charging in, unable to hide the worry in her eyes. When she saw the blood-stained white bedsheet earlier, she had been absolutely terrified. Xiao Mucheng held her tightly and promised that nothing would ever separate them. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief upon learning that Xiao Mucheng was fine. However, they couldn't help but wonder. Gao Su had been out of the limelight for quite some time, so where did such an obsessed fan come from? The incident had already gone viral, and the internet was flooded with news about Gao Shu. While helping to clean Gao Shu's room, Yi Ran noticed a black plastic bag and assumed it was trash. But when the assistant saw her holding it, she immediately snatched it away and threatened her to leave. Yi Ran caught a glimpse inside. It was filled with cash. Suspicious, Yi Ran secretly followed the assistant into the stairwell and discovered that everything had been orchestrated by Gao Shu's team to build a public persona for her. Yi Ran recorded their misconduct, but when they realized what she had done, they desperately chased after her, and the commotion led them all back to Gao Shu's room. Gao Shu offered Yi Ran a price to stay quiet, but Yi Ran was unfazed. She pointed out how much damage this had done to the hotel's reputation. Yi Ran demanded that Gao Shu publicly reveal the truth and apologize to the hotel. After all, Xiao Muqing was still lying in the hospital because he had tried to protect her. However, Gao Shu had no intention of apologizing. She argued that everyone in the industry operated this way, all in pursuit of fame and fortune. Yiran later visited Xiao Muqing in the hospital and told him the truth, but he didn't want her to get involved. The two playfully wrestled on the hospital bed, and at that moment, Leng Yishu arrived carrying flowers to visit Xiao Muqing. Seeing the intimate scene, she turned and left in disappointment. That night, Leng Yishu ran into Lin Yujia at a bar. Although she was in a terrible mood, she convinced herself that even without a man, she could still live an exciting life. After being discharged from the hospital and returning to the hotel, Xiao Muqing learned that Gao Su had announced her retirement from the entertainment industry. Yiran encountered Gao Shu by the seaside. Gao Shu opened up about her past, revealing that she had been reflecting deeply on her life these past few days. In the end, she decided to move forward. Yiran sought out Xiaofu. She had something to say to him. She declared her decision to stand by her relationship with Xiao Muqing and vowed never to let go so easily. Gao Shu left the hotel, while Xiao Muqing and Yi Ran, watching her departure, felt a sense of understanding. They believed that Gao Shu's future would only get better. Meanwhile, Pan Yi had decided to return home. That night marked her final live stream. She sang of her unyielding dreams in front of the camera, refusing to stop even as the rain poured down. Before leaving, Pan Yi gifted her guitar to Yiran as a keepsake. Yiran was reluctant to part with her, but she knew she had no power to make her stay. The only thing she could do was respect her decision. Yiran saw Pan Yi off as she got into the car, and the two reluctantly bid farewell. Sitting in the car, Pan Yi couldn't hold back her tears. She had accepted her fate, but she hoped Yi Ran wouldn't do the same, that she would persist in chasing her dreams and keep moving forward. On the way, Pan Yi received a call from Yi Ran. It turned out that Pan Yi's live stream from the previous night had gone viral, and suddenly there was a chance for a turnaround. Leng Yishu asked Xiao Muqing to take a walk with her that evening. There was something she had always wanted to say to him face to face. Leng Yishu had once liked Xiao Muqing and always believed that he liked her as well. She had quietly waited for his confession, convinced that they were the only ones truly meant for each other. But now, she finally realized that what she felt wasn't real love. To her, Xiao Muqing was a great rival, a great friend, nothing more. She let go of him completely. Pan Yi's livestream had taken off, and suddenly, she had many fans. The version of herself who stayed behind was no longer alone. Yiran and Lin Yujia went to the beach they used to visit as children. Lin Yujia had thought he would have a lot to say to her, but at that moment, his mind went blank. On the surface, Yiran seemed brave and strong, but deep down, she was actually very lonely. In the end, Lin Yujia decided to stay by her side and be her best friend. At the hotel, Lao Kui was grabbed by a guest, who accused him of drinking his liquor. Lao Kui denied it, and when Xiao Muqing arrived to handle the situation, the guest continued to curse and cause trouble. Frustrated, Xiao Muqing decided to fire Lao Kui. Yiran was upset about the situation, but Lao Tsui reassured her that he had chosen to leave on his own. He was already 72 years old. It was time for him to step away. Lao Tsui didn't want them to misunderstand Xiao Muqing. He was a good person and had always treated them like family. Realizing she had wrongly blamed Xiao Muqing, Yi Ran quickly brought him a late night snack as an apology and even handed him a universal coupon. allowing him to ask for anything he wanted. Xiao Muqing requested a massage, and Yi Ran reluctantly agreed, massaging him for a long time, only for the whole situation to end with her feeling annoyed. Suddenly, Quan Hai started receiving a flood of negative reviews. Many guests were deliberately causing trouble, and the online buzz was spiraling out of control. Xiao Muqing decided to take a calm approach and prepare internally for further developments. Investigating the security footage, Xiao Muqing noticed a familiar looking man. He was the head of a PR firm, and among the companies behind him was Teng Yue. Xiao Muqing was convinced this wasn't a coincidence and stormed into Lin Yujia's home, demanding to know what he was trying to do. Lin Yujia, caught off guard, was completely clueless. He had no reason to go after Quan Hai. When Lin Yujia called to investigate, he found out that it had all been orchestrated by his father. Xiao Fu and Chairman Lin met in person. They were old acquaintances. Years ago, when Quan Hai was founded, Chairman Lin had been involved, but due to differences in business philosophy, he eventually left and made his fortune in real estate. Over the years, he had kept a watchful eye on Quan Hai. This time, Chairman Lin had returned to force Quan Hai into a partnership with Teng Yue. Xiaofu understood that it was because of an old grudge, but even so, Chairman Lin had no intention of reconciliation. Lin Yujia confronted Chairman Lin, questioning his actions. They had agreed that he would be in charge of Quan Hai's affairs, so why was he suddenly retracting that decision? Chairman Lin berated him, calling him useless and incapable. Recently, Xiao Muqing had been exhausted from handling the crisis at Quan Hai. To help him recover, Yi Ran specially ordered herbal flower tea to restore his energy. Yi Ran suggested working with local fruit farmers to hold events that would attract customers. Xiao Muqing thought it was a great idea. She had a keen business mind. The next day, Yi Ran had an important interview. She stayed up late reviewing in Xiao Muqing's office, and the two of them worked side by side. The following morning, Xiao Muqing held Yiran's hand as he walked her to her interview. However, they soon learned that Xiao Fu had convened a board meeting regarding Teng Yue's acquisition of Quan Hai. Chairman Lin intended to buy out Quan Hai and transform it into a smart hotel, reducing human staff by 90%. Yiran performed excellently in her interview, but in the end, she still failed on Xiao Fu's orders. Xiao Muqing was devastated to learn that Xiao Fu planned to sell Quan Hai to Teng Yue. To him, Quan Hai was more than just a hotel. It was a legacy built by him and his late mother. Xiao Fu had once promised to protect it, but now he had broken that promise. In anger, Xiao Fu slapped Xiao Muqing, arguing that despite his recent improvements to Quan Hai, it was still no match for modern smart hotels. Heartbroken and disappointed in his father, Xiao Muqing walked away. When he learned about Yiran's interview results, she tried her best to hide her disappointment. Seeing her like this, Xiao Muqing suggested they take a vacation to unwind and get a hotel room together. Xiao Muqing and Yi Ran arrived at the smart hotel together. The entire way, Yi Ran nervously stared at her toes while walking. There was only one type of room available. Xiao Muqing told Yiran to sleep on the bed while he took the sofa, but Yiran flatly refused. It wasn't like they hadn't shared a bed before, and besides, wasn't the bed big enough for both of them? That night, the two of them lay on opposite sides of the bed, staring at each other. Yiran suggested that since they couldn't sleep, they should have a drink together. As the alcohol took effect, Yiran started crying, lamenting her failed interview. She was so frustrated, she wanted to quit everything and leave. Xiao Muqing wouldn't let her go. No one was allowed to leave. Yiran didn't understand. What exactly was he holding on to? Xiao Muqing answered, Quan Hai is proof that my mother once existed. It holds my memories. If Quan Hai disappears, then the traces of my mother will disappear too. Hearing this, Yi Ran deeply empathized with him and firmly declared that she would help him protect Quan Hai. Touched by her words, Xiao Muqing leaned in and kissed her. After a passionate night, the next morning, Xiao Muqing was startled awake by Yi Ran, who hadn't slept a wink. Xiao Muqing had trouble sleeping in an unfamiliar environment and had spent the night grinding his teeth and snoring. When Leng Yishu heard about Teng Yue's plan to acquire Quan Hai, She immediately sensed that things weren't as simple as they seemed. Meanwhile, Xiao Mucheng asked Yiran how she felt about last night's experience. Yiran felt awkward. Was this really the right place to talk about such things? Flustered, she vaguely replied, "Good energy, but poor endurance." However, Xiao Mucheng completely misunderstood her, thinking she was critiquing the hotel experience. He began to complain about the hotel's shortcomings, and only then did Yi Ran realize he had been talking about the hotel all along. As they chatted, they overheard an elderly man grumbling about how this hotel was completely unsuitable for seniors. Leng Yishu, convinced that Lin Yujia was using public affairs for personal revenge, stormed over and gave him a beating. Lin Yujia shrieked in protest, insisting that this was all his father's doing. To make things worse, Lin Yujia's father had also frozen his credit card. Yiran proposed an idea to sell the same mattresses and pillows used at Quan Hai, turning the hotel into a showroom with an e-commerce strategy. Xiao Mucheng was thrilled by her creativity. Just then, Xiao Mucheng received word that Xiao Fu would be officially signing the contract with Teng Yue the next morning. Without hesitation, he swapped seats with Yi Ran and moved to the front passenger seat to start drafting a proposal. The next day, before Xiaofu could finalize the deal with Teng Yue, Xiao Mucheng stood up and fought for a chance. He laid out the disadvantages of smart hotels and presented a new project plan, asking for 3 months to prove himself. Although he managed to secure this opportunity, public opinion online remained negative. Xiao Mucheng and Yiran sought out Lin Yujia, who confessed that his original assignment had been to sideline Quan Hai, but he had no idea why. Yiran hoped Lin Yujia could help, but he was powerless in this situation. However, when it came to PR crisis, Bokan was the real expert. With that, everyone dedicated themselves to saving Quan Hai. 3 months later, Xiao Mucheng had indeed achieved some results, but Lin Yujia's father still wouldn't give up. He was determined to take over Quan Hai. Although profits had improved, they hadn't reached the level Xiao Mucheng had promised. He refused help from Lin Yujia and Leng Yishu, and Yiran didn't know what to say either. But she believed, so long as there was no despair today, there would still be hope tomorrow. Xiaofu felt that the outcome was inevitable. Though he was reluctant, times had changed, and they needed to look forward. That evening, Xiaofu attended Chairman Yu and his wife's golden wedding anniversary banquet. It brought back memories of his time with his own wife, how they had built Quan Hai together, and how, before she passed away, she had entrusted him with taking care of Xiao Mucheng and protecting Quan Hai. After the banquet, Yiran approached Xiao Fu. She had something she wanted to say to him. Xiao Mucheng's project did not meet expectations. At the board meeting, he still hoped that everyone would give Quan Hai a chance. During the vote, Xiao Fu cast a veto vote against the acquisition. As the founder of Quan Hai, he had the right to a final say. Lin Fu was stunned and tried to incite the board members, but Xiao Fu countered with solid data, proving that Xiao Mucheng's project was effective. As a father, he had to support his son. Furious, Lin Fu stormed out, only to learn that over the past few months, his own son, Lin Yujia, had been helping Quan Hai by introducing valuable resources to them. That night, everyone celebrated together. Xiao Mucheng sincerely thanked Leng Yishu and Lin Yujia. If it weren't for Lin Yujia bringing in resources and Leng Yishu handling public relations, his journey would have been much more difficult. Xiao Fu prepared 2 bowls of noodles and sat down to eat with Xiao Mucheng. Tears welled up in Xiao Mucheng's eyes. The taste reminded him of his mother. Xiao Fu admitted that it was his wife who had taught him how to cook, but after they got married, he never cooked again. Xiao Mucheng asked why Xiao Fu had changed his mind. Xiao Fu recounted what Yi Ran had said to him that night. She reminded him of Xiao Mucheng's mother, bold and determined. No wonder Xiao Mucheng liked her. However, Xiao Mucheng couldn't afford to let his guard down. If he couldn't meet his targets on time, Xiao Fu wouldn't be able to justify it to the shareholders. Just as he finished speaking, Xiao Fu suddenly collapsed to the ground. Meanwhile, Lin Fu went to confront Lin Yujia, but got so enraged that his high blood pressure acted up, landing him in the hospital as well. At the hospital, Lin Fu overheard Xiao Muqing scolding Xiao Fu next door, reminding him not to eat so much sugar, as he was well aware of his high blood sugar. Lin Fu pulled back the curtain. What a coincidence. Xiao Fu, with just a few words, infuriated Lin Fu even more, nearly sending him into another episode. Later, Xiao Muqing and Yi Ran went on a date. He told her he had reserved a restaurant for the next evening and invited her to celebrate together. With Lin Fu back home to recover and the issues at Quan Hai settled, Leng Yishu asked Lin Yujia about his future plans. Lin Yujia hadn't decided yet, but he was sure he wouldn't stay here. Without warning, Leng Yishu threw herself into his arms, saying, "Consider this my farewell gift." Yiran dressed up carefully for the dinner at the restaurant Xiao Muqing had reserved. Throughout the meal, Xiao Muqing hesitated, struggling to bring up what he wanted to say. Finally, he confessed. Her interview rejection had been his doing. He had felt that Yiran shouldn't be tied down to the housekeeping department. Yiran then revealed that she was leaving for a while. She had made a promise to Xiaofu. He believed that if she and Xiao Muqing wanted a long-term future together, they needed to work hard for it. Xiaofu had arranged for her to study abroad for 2 years, and she had agreed. She hoped Xiao Muqing would support her decision. After much internal struggle, Xiao Muqing eventually agreed. He had always believed Yiran deserved a bigger stage than just the housekeeping department. Before leaving, Yiran visited her grandmother. Seeing her memory improving, Yiran found herself reluctant to go. Sensing this, Grandma pretended to be confused again, acting as though she had forgotten Yiran, hoping she would pursue her dreams. But after Yiran left, Grandma couldn't hold back her tears. Xiao Muqing suggested visiting Yiran's childhood home, so she took him to the place filled with memories from her past. The house was overflowing with nostalgia. Sitting by the fire on the terrace, Yiran told Xiao Muqing stories from her childhood. How no matter the weather, no matter how late she came home, there was always someone waiting for her. Meanwhile, Leng Yishu decided to take a trip. At the airport, she unexpectedly ran into Lin Yujia again. Two people with no set destination decided to travel together, and naturally, Leng Yishu linked arms with Lin Yujia. Before Yiran left for her studies abroad, Xiao Muqing had planned to see her off. However, an important client visit came up, which was crucial to Quan Hai's evaluation. Left with no choice, he asked Chen Mo to take Yiran to the airport instead. Everyone gathered to bid farewell to Yiran. She pretended to be indifferent, but once in the car, her eyes turned red from crying, cursing Xiao Muqing under her breath. However, the driver couldn't take it anymore because it was Xiao Muqing himself. He had planned to surprise Yiran at the airport, only to be insulted by her the whole way there. Yiran felt wronged. Why did he have to be so dramatic? After a reluctant goodbye, Yiran left for her studies abroad. In the following months, Xiao Muqing balanced work and taking care of grandma. However, because of the time difference, he and Yiran struggled to stay in touch. Every time they started talking, the call would be cut short. A year later, at the prestigious Hotel Awards ceremony, Quan Hai won first place. The moment he received the trophy, Xiao Muqing snapped a photo to send to Yiran. But he waited and Yiran never replied. Instead, Leng Yishu and Lin Yujia returned, shamelessly showing off their love in front of him and even handing him a wedding invitation. Xiao Muqing was so jealous, he nearly flipped the table. Noticing his expression, Leng Yishu and Lin Yujia fanned the flames, saying that Yiran was living alone abroad and probably having a hard time. Plus, wasn't she known for getting bored easily and moving on? The new marketing manager assigned by the group was set to arrive in an hour, but there was no available information about them yet. Meanwhile, Xiao Muqing still had no word from Yiran. Frustrated, he stared at his phone for a long time. An hour later, Xiao Fu arrived at Quan Hai with Yiran, who had just returned from studying abroad. And she was the new marketing manager. Xiao Muqing glared at Yiran, nearly grinding his teeth to dust. He asked why she hadn't told him she was coming back. Maintaining a strictly professional demeanor, Yiran coolly replied that she had work to do and could discuss personal matters after office hours. After work, Yi Ran dressed up as Santa Claus and brought back little mementos of their shared memories for Xiao Muqing. Xiao Muqing wanted to know why she had suddenly disappeared months ago. Yi Ran didn't answer. Instead, she ran off and returned wearing a wedding dress, proposing to Xiao Muqing. This past year, she had been incredibly busy, studying day and night to finish 2 years' worth of coursework in just 1 year, just so she could come back to him sooner. Choking up, Xiao Muqing knelt on one knee, raised a ring, and in front of their friends and family, sealed their love with a vow.